So John, Rich
Sir,
Carpentieri.
pleasure. You've come with a lot of recommendations, great recommendations.
Okay, so congratulations, and I'm pleased to be referred to you. I know that your brother had referred me to him, and we had a great relationship, and I know we'll have a similar experience here.
Right.
So you ready to start and sit down and go
I
for
am.
it?
I'm actually kind of in a hurry.
Okay, so let me find out a little bit about, so we can get a strategy together. I'd like to find out more about why you're looking to buy a house, John.
Well, as you know, I'm a surgeon in South Dakota, or you may know,
Okay.
and looking at opportunities over here at the medical center.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for a house, looking for a place that I'd be happy with.
So how long before you're actually looking to, when you have to start working? And is it the VA or Nemours or where?
Nemours.
Okay. And how soon before you start work at Nemours?
It's a little open-ended. I'm still kind of in the interview process, and really it's more me. They said I can come on board. So I'm looking at a house situation. I'm looking around Orlando, see if it's a fit for me. See how much housing I can, see how much of a house I can buy. I live in South Dakota, so I live in about a 6,000 square foot home there.
Okay.
Outbuildings, kind of a gentleman farmer there.
Okay.
So that's kind of the lifestyle I have.
And in South Dakota right now, do they have 82 degrees or?
No.
What's the weather like back?
No, and that's really the attraction to Florida.
Sure.
Kind of like to go back and forth. If it makes sense, I want to I have a pretty strong practice there, and that's one thing that we're trying to work out here at Nemours, if I can do that.
So do you need to sell your house back in South Dakota in order to buy a house there?
I'll probably keep it, or I may downsize, because I don't need that big of a house.
Well, can I ask you a second question?
Sure.
I'd like to interview for that job too. Just because I live in Florida doesn't mean that I can't sell a house in South Dakota. Keller Williams is the second largest real estate company in the United States with 700 offices and 78,000 agents. What I'd like to do is get my top agent in your city, which is nearest to you, and if you're looking to downsize, you may need to sell a house and buy another one in South Dakota. I would love to interview for those two jobs also today.
Okay.
Will that work for you?
Well, I have a brother that works for Coldwell there.
Okay.
So,
How long has he been in business?
He's been in business about 17 years.
So he's got a little bit of foundation there.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll explore opportunities over there. If you're happy with my services here today, can we talk about that afterwards?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me get this right. So you're a surgeon from South Dakota. You're possibly entertaining the idea to go to Nemours. If this is a go, what is your time frame?
Probably within 30 days. I don't have to sell my house in South Dakota.
Well, what about the purchase here? If you sign on with Nemours, when would the expectation be for you to start working?
Well, there's another surgeon that I'm staying with right now, so there's not this huge hurry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ideal for me. That's why I'm here today.
Would
I don't
you-
want to be rooming with someone, even though he has a nice home here.
Sure. Would you live with him for 6 months?
You know, probably not.
6 months is too long.
It's too long.
How about 3?
I'd be closer to 3.
Okay, so you're looking in the possibly 45 to 90 day range.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Fair enough, I figured you had a good idea. So obviously, you're a professional and you've bought houses before. So what I'd like to know is, talk to me about some of the purchases you've bought, the experiences. For 1 to 10, think about an experience of you buying a house in your lifetime that was the most pleasurable experience you've ever witnessed before. What did that look like? Talk to me about that.
I am very impatient.
Mhm.
We didn't do any of this. You know, this is difficult for me to sit down with you. I know why you're doing it. I appreciate it, but I have a pretty good idea what I'm looking for. I thought we'd be driving around this morning. I thought you'd have, I gave you some basic information, which I thought it would be, I got meetings over at the hospital.
And my plan is right after we're done here is to take you out. I want to prepare you for the market because I don't believe you know what the market's like over here. You might have heard, but you're not in real estate, you're in surgery. So in the OR room, you're the boss. When it comes to real estate out here, these are the things that I do, and I want to make sure that I prepare all my clients so they can buy the ideal dream home for the least amount of money in the shortest amount of time. That is what you want.
I heard that about you, Rich. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And that's why I was recommended to you by your brother.
That's right.
Okay, so let's go back and visit this again. What specifically made that experience with your brother the best ideal situation, so I know how to put you in your comfort zone and treat you the way you want to be treated.
Okay, I'm a surgeon, that's my life, I spend most of my time at the hospital, but when I'm home, you know, I like to pheasant hunt, I like to fool around my cattle.
Let's go to the sale of the house.
Okay.
What did your brother do that made, you said it was the most pleasurable experience? Was it communication? What was he doing to you that made you feel comfortable?
I was in Guatemala doing some volunteer work.
Mhm.
This just became available. It was seamless. It was a phone call. I knew the location, I knew the house, became available. Transaction was over the phone. I don't know, it was done in less than an hour. I'm very impatient. I don't have time for this, Rich.
Okay.
I'd
So
really
you
like
just
to go
want an
look at
easy
some houses.
Absolutely, and we're gonna get to that. But would you rather overpay for a house or buy a house that you're not really in love with because you weren't aware that there was another house that was better suited for you?
I'm a conservative South Dakotan. I'm not overpaying for a house. But we can talk in the car, can't we?
Yeah, we can talk in the car, we can talk in the office, and what we're trying to establish right here, right now, John, is to find out if we're a good fit. Because if I don't think we're a match, then I'm gonna refer you to another agent. If I can't best suit your needs, it's not about me today, it's all about you. And if I'm not comfortable thinking I'm the best agent for the job here, I'm not gonna take that job. Because this is a job interview, you do realize that.
Well,
You're interviewing me, and I'm interviewing you.
I respect that. I respect your professionalism. There's patients that I can't help at the hospital.
That's right.
Let them know.
That's right. And that's what we're trying to find out here to see if we're a good fit.
I respect that.
Okay, so I understand that the experience for you, time is of the essence for you. And
It is, actually.
this is gonna take at least 45 minutes before we
Wow.
get to a house. So
I-
you need to know that.
Wow.
Mm,
Can we make it 30?
don't think so. It's like baking. If I skip on the recipe, what happens with the results?
Well, I mean, you probably.
I'm a results-oriented person. You want results. I've heard you loud and clear. Your time is your money. And I'm gonna get you the house in the shortest amount of time. And that means looking at houses at the shortest amount of time. My intent is to get you to see 3 houses, and one of them is gonna be the one you buy. I'm not here to show you 30 houses. The better consultation I do today, the more intense I grind down right here, right now, the less time we're gonna spend in a car. And that is what you want.
Yeah, really, well, yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
So let's continue from here, John.
All right.
So, have you ever had a bad experience in buying a house?
A bad experience?
Yeah. Have you ever bought a house and the agent just wasn't to your liking?
You know, in Pittsburgh, it was a challenge. And probably in due respect to the agent in Pittsburgh, I mean, we didn't really do this. We did it in the car. And I mean, I was pretty specific what I was looking for. I was looking for not temporary so much, but something I could invest in and sell quickly, because I didn't think I was going to be there that long. I wanted to get back to South Dakota.
Right.
Is an okay agent, you know, an okay agent.
You understand the difference between your brother's transaction, which you said was a great
In South Dakota.
experience, and one that maybe wasn't as great. So I'm trying to find out, what are the things that are important to you? Timing, obviously.
Timing, communication,
Communication.
trust. It's my brother. It was my brother. It was a great transaction. I just met you.
And
I mean,
when
from
it's-
Adam, really.
I know
You
that.
referred from a friend, but, you know,
And also,
he referred me to a dry cleaner, too.
okay. And hopefully they did a great job and starched your shirt.
I hope so. I'm picking up some shirts today. I'll let you know.
Good for you. So you also know what you didn't like about the bad transaction.
Yeah, the guy wasn't all that focused. I'm not sure he was a good listener, and really didn't respect my time. I told him I had 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
You know, we kind of went past that.
So I think I got a fair assessment of what you like and what you don't like. Are you ready to proceed from here?
Sure.
So here's what I'd like you to do. I want to show you a video. I want to prepare you for what the market is like.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things we're going to do today you've never done before because you've never had this type of experience. My job is to give you a 10+ customer service satisfaction. That is what you want.
It is.
I want to treat you with kid gloves because you are a professional, and that's what you deserve to be treated.
Well, thank you.
So this is a video that comes out every month by my board, and I would like to prepare you in 2 minutes exactly what you're going to expect out there. So this is for all the greater Orlando area, all the stats from all the agents. This is not from my company.
When you say board, what do you mean?
Well, all the realtors, there's 10,000 realtors here in Orlando that belong to a board, and these are all interest rates, rising prices, inventory. It's going to talk a little bit about everything, so you're prepared to know what you're getting into.
What kind of interest rate will I do?
Depends on your credit. I'm not the mortgage
No,
broker.
good credit.
Well, that's still a mortgage broker question. Right now, it's going to tell you what the average mortgage rate is. I want to say it's about 3.5%.
Okay.
So let's just watch this and spend 2 minutes
That
watching
sounds
this.
high. I didn't realize the inventory level was that tight.
Do you think that was an important piece of information for you to see today?
Yeah, I do. You know, the median price is really nothing like what I'm looking for. So I'm wondering if that applies. Is it tighter in the market, as tight as what median price is?
Well, prices you heard were up 22% this year. Inventory was down drastically. It was down 40% from 2010 to 2012.
So I'm late.
So this is, well, not really, because we don't know how high it's one of these things, you can't time the market. You know, we don't, its market is just like stock market. The housing market is a commodity. A house is only worth what a person's willing to pay for it.
Yeah, you know, the median price in South Dakota is $80,000.
Well, this is Florida. You also get 6 feet of snow in South Dakota every year. How much do you pay for snow removal? How about sweaters?
Well, they have a tractor.
How much is your heat? Good point. Right? So that's why you're coming here to Orlando. It's a better way of life. Good point. That's what we have down here. So this is pretty information. I took a couple of notes here, so I'll be using them through the rest of our consultation to refer, because this isn't from me or my company. This was by the board that put these numbers out. This is for all realtors throughout the area here. So when you have, this is simple economics. When inventory is down and demand is up, what happens to price?
Up.
Now you understand why it's up 22%.
Yes, I do.
And in some areas, it's up as much as 50%. So it depends on the specific area that you're looking to go to.
So I'm going to have to ask for more money, and the more as it looks like.
Could be.
Wow.
If you want me to handle that negotiation for you too, I'll probably be happy to do that too. That's what I specialize in. So let's go on. What I'd like to show you right now is I want to show you more specific about the specific area.
Okay.
You inquired about Eagle Creek.
I did.
Because it's gated, it's a golf community,
Right.
all of these features. So what I'd like to do is show you exactly what to expect here. So in the last 90 days,
So you already
picked up-
have like Eagle Creek information in here?
It's already, I just pulled it up for you. I did this, I
Wow.
prepared this before you came here.
I
See, I want to make sure I'm prepared for you,
Well, I appreciate that.
because I know that time is the most important thing to you.
Yes, it is.
Right? So if you look over here, these are houses that sold in the last 90 days. What I'd like to show you is, and forget about the size or the actual price of the house. I just want to show you and see what you pick up from here. This house over here listed at 185 and sold at 215. So close
Over?
at 215. It closed for 30,000 over. The next house over here listed at 205 and closed at 209 and $95. The next one was the same model, closed at the same price.
Wow.
And this one listed at 249 and closed at 256. So what is the pattern that you're seeing here?
Well, I've never seen that in my life.
You live in South Dakota, welcome to Florida.
Well, I lived in Pittsburgh and still didn't see it.
Welcome to Florida.
Wow. I guess we couldn't do this in the car, could we?
Cows and steel are different than sunshine, John.
Oh, pheasants right there.
Pheasants, right? So this is the Sunshine State. So people are willing to pay. And this isn't always this way. 2 years ago, it was a different market. When you have too much inventory and a little amount of buyers, which way does price go?
Too
Down.
much inventory down.
Yeah, and that's what we call a buyer's market. And right now we have no inventory and too many buyers. Which way does price go?
Prices are going up.
We
Why
call
don't
this
they
a
build
seller's
them?
market.
Why
Who do you
not?
think? Who do you think's in charge now? Buyers or sellers?
Sellers are big time in charge.
Yeah, sellers are in charge. It's
Well,
a
I like
seller's
to be in
market.
charge.
Yeah, well, you still can be. Because if you buy a house today and a year from today, the price is going up 22% a year, if you decide New Moore's is not for you, who's going to be in charge? We're in the middle of a seller's market. Interest rates are the lowest they've been in 100 years, John. That's long before you and I were born. This is the lowest interest rates you've seen in 100 years. And in fact, a combination of low interest rates and low prices, they're still relatively low.
How long is it going to take for me to get qualified?
Well, that's what we're gonna talk about next. I just wanted to make sure you understood the pattern that you're seeing here, so when we actually find your dream come true house, you're prepared, fully prepared to buy that house, because you won't get a second shot. There are no second shots in Florida. There is no negotiating.
Wow.
When you see a house, if you like it, you need to know all of this information, because you told me twice time is it could be your enemy. You're a very impatient person, correct?
Well, I live in a very impatient world at times.
Absolutely.
People
So,
are dying.
would you like to write up 4 offers on 4 different houses and find out you outbid on all 4?
No,
Would that take too much time?
it's already taking too much time.
Would that, definitely, would that make this a very unpleasurable experience for
No.
you?
No.
Would you agree?
Yes.
So that's why I'm doing this, so you're prepared, because I want to save you time. The 40 minutes we spend now will save you hours and hours and hours of time later on.
So is that why that's why we're at the office today?
That's why
the
we're at the
importance of actually sitting down and being educated about the market.
Education is the key for strategy and for negotiation.
Sounds like looks like you've got a lot of questions that you plan to ask me.
I've got a couple more. We're about a little more than halfway through.
But you're prepared. I mean,
I am
it looks like-
prepared.
Okay, that's
So let me
wonderful.
ask you, John, now let's talk about qualifications. Are you looking to pay cash for a house? Are you looking to finance? How are you looking to find out? How are you looking to pay?
You know, I'm undecided actually.
Are you able to pay cash for a house?
Yes, I am, but I'm not sure that's the best use of my money right now.
I would absolutely agree. I don't know, we teach a lot of wealth building classes, and leverage or getting a loan is probably the highest and best use of your money, so you can invest the rest of your money in whatever you see fit. Investment real estate, CDs, although CDs don't pay much these days, possibly stocks, or other maybe commercial.
Can I get approved in a couple days?
I can get you approved in 20 minutes. What I'm gonna do is...
My letter of approval.
Oh, you
I
already
from
have
the
one?
bank. Yeah, I heard you
Okay.
needed it.
Okay, so this is fantastic. Yep, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So this
That's
says...
confidential, by the way.
Absolutely, it doesn't leave me unless you make an offer, in which case I have to furnish it to the listing agent to prove to them that you actually can afford this house.
Sounds
I know you're a doctor, but we're not gonna tell him that.
Well, there's doctors with lots of debt. People
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Yeah. So this is really good, it's easier conventional financing.
Yes.
So you're gonna be putting down 20%.
Sure.
So I would like to talk to you a little bit about the house now, let's get this right. I know you wanna be in Eagle Creek.
Right.
I know you're in a big house, 6,000 square feet.
Right.
So what I'd like to know is, talk to me about some of the things that you have to have in a house, John. Absolutely non-negotiable, because if they're not there, you don't want the house.
You know, it's a little bit difficult to do that, living where I'm living and liking the amenities of a custom-built home that's built exactly for me. I mean, I have a den that's, you know, it has all my guns, you know, glass cases, have a bathroom in there. I spend a lot of time in there when I'm home. But I'm looking for amenities. I mean, I want to play golf.
Are you looking for a custom house?
Ideally, I'd like to have one. I really, you know, the Eagle Creek's a little bit of a cookie cutter,
Well, there
but
are some custom houses in there. They're more on the upper side, which you can afford according to your pre-qualification. However, it's going to take about 6 months to build, and you told me earlier that you ideally would like to do this in 90 days.
yeah, that's
plus.
not going to work for me.
So custom homes may not be the way to go if you want to stay in Eagle Creek.
I don't really have time unless I stay with my surgeon buddy.
Yeah. So here's what your dilemma is this. What's more important to you, the custom home or Eagle Creek? Because if you go for custom home in Eagle Creek, it's 6 months.
Okay, I don't
If you-
have 6 months.
Okay, so now it comes down to, do you want to get a cookie cutter home, or a nice, beautiful home in Eagle Creek? There's a ton of them out there with lush, plush amenities. Or do you want to leave Eagle Creek and find that custom-built home already built?
I might do this in stair steps. I mean, maybe I'll do Eagle Creek for a year, you know, make sure that I like the area, and then I'll talk to a builder about a custom home, perhaps.
Fantastic. So within this house, talk to me about the amenities that you have to have, non-negotiable.
3 or 4 bedrooms would be good. I've got relatives that would come down from South Dakota, probably inconveniently in the summertime. 3 baths or 4 baths would be good, probably 4.
So let me get this right. If it has 3 baths, you don't even want to look at the
I
house.
could probably look at 3.5. Lots of storage.
If it has 3 bathrooms, do you want to see the house?
I'll see the house.
Okay, so you'd like to have it, but it's not a must-have.
Right, it would have to be right at the golf course, right in the back of the golf course. I like to chip balls at night.
So if the house isn't on the golf course,
No,
you don't want to see it?
No.
Okay, so it's got to be on the course. What else? Now, we're only talking about things you have to, not would like
Right.
to. I'm going to get to would like to.
Right.
Only things that you have to absolutely have. Talk to me.
I need a ton of storage because I haven't decided what I'm taking.
What does that look like to you? How much?
You know, I don't really know. I have a huge basement. So there's no basements here. I don't know where people put their crap.
Oh, well, we do have basements in Florida.
Really?
We call them swimming pools. Because when you dig more than 12 inches, we hit water. So you can build a basement that'll just be filled with water. So I'm thinking you probably need a minimum 3-car garage for storage.
At least.
Okay.
Will that have an attic above it, Rich?
Yes, most of the houses do have attic space. However, I will tell you, I don't advise putting in anything because in the summertime it gets up to about 120, 130
Oh,
degrees.
I need air conditioning up there.
Air
No
conditioning
question.
up there. So what I'm going to say to you is,
It'd be an extra charge to do that.
you can get a contractor to do that afterwards.
Okay.
I don't have any idea what that would cost.
Okay.
Or I'm thinking you're gonna be shoveling snow in South Dakota, John.
Well, you know, the shoveling snow in South Dakota is going to happen anyway. I'm keeping the house in South Dakota, but I have a ranch hand that I'm just going to be shoveling. But, you know, at the end of the day, I still need the storage. I mean,
Okay,
and-
so we're
and
gonna look for minimum 3-car garage.
Minimum.
Minimum. What else do you need? Anything else that you have to have?
Well, I don't really need much of the yard. I don't really have time to take care of it. That's part of my attraction of Florida. I do want a pool. I do want a jacuzzi.
Let's slow down.
I'm going to put a
Let's slow
putting
down.
green.
You're going way too fast for me.
Oh.
One at a time.
Well, I'm kind of, you know, sort of in a hurry.
But I want to make you make the right decisions. That's what the consultation's for, remember?
Are we wrapping up here?
Probably within 5-10 minutes. So my question is, you say pool.
Yes.
Must it have a pool? Is that a have to or a like to?
Like to.
Because I've got to get this right the first time with you.
I appreciate that. We're going to look at one house.
We're going to probably look at 3.
Man, I'm used to looking at like 10.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to that, but this consultation is going to filter out 7 or 8 of those that you wouldn't like.
I appreciate
I'm going to, because time is of the essence. That's what
Right.
you said, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you want, okay. So like to have would be a pool.
Like to have.
Okay, what else?
I like clay tile roofs. We don't have that in South Dakota.
Okay. Is that a must-have or is that a like to?
That's like to have, I guess.
Okay. Are there any things that you must have? Because you seem to be jumping to like to.
Yeah, I'd like to have a big den about this big, sort of as big as this, maybe not as part of,
So this room
maybe
is 20.
maybe 3/4 size. I'm trying to be realistic.
Okay,
It's
so this
not-
room is 22 by 25. Let's be specific.
Well, I'm trying to be specific. I'm trying to, you know, you see the column there. If I could have that much as just a separate den, that'd be good. That'd be really kind of a must-have.
Okay, so den. So I'm thinking you want 12 by 20 minimum.
Pool table. Want to put a pool table in it.
Big enough for a pool.
Desk.
Okay.
I would say those are must-haves, Rich.
Okay. Is there anything else that's a must-have? Or we finished and we can move on to the next
Gourmet
one?
kitchen. My girlfriend comes down likes to cook. That's pretty basic.
Gourmet kitchen, let's talk about it. Is that a must-have?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so if there's no gourmet kitchen, we're not going to look at it?
It's a waste of time.
Okay, so we can't buy an Eagle Creek
What?
because there is no gourmet kitchen.
What kind of kitchens do they have?
They're going to have some upgraded kitchens.
Okay.
I'm talking $15,000 to $30,000 in upgrades in the kitchens.
Okay.
But when you say gourmet, I'm thinking custom gourmet. That's a $75,000 kitchen.
No, I'd look at the $30,000 kitchen.
Okay.
I'd do
See,
that.
that's why we do this consultation, is so I've got clarity
Sure.
on exactly what you want. That's important to
They
me.
have a bar in the kitchen?
They could possibly have a wet bar in the kitchen. And if not, I'm thinking that's something a plumber could put in,
Okay.
couple $1,000, you'd be okay with.
Right.
So I've got all the things that you have to have. Now I'd like to know what you'd like to have. We got a couple of things here. You'd like to have a tile roof, you'd like to have an oversized den, they'll fit a pool table in the desk. What else would you like to have?
You know, it's really boils down to have for me. Really have to haves.
Okay.
The like to haves, you know, I'm used to kind of having what I
Right.
want. So the have to haves or the must haves, I'm really not interested in wasting much time there.
And that's why I'm gonna be able, well, other agents will show you 10 houses, I'm gonna eliminate 7 of them right now. today.
I so appreciate that.
Let's move on to the things that you absolutely don't want. Because if they're there, you don't even want to look at them. Talk to them.
2-car garage, don't want.
Okay?
Okay, if I can't chip balls on the golf course at night, I'm not interested.
So you don't want to, you want more than being on the golf course, you want to be on the green, specifically.
Well, that would be great. I'm going to put I'm going to put a putting green in my backyard. And so I was thinking I could chip off that, but if it could be on the green, it'd be even better.
Gotcha. Okay. What, is there anything that you absolutely do not want, John?
I'm really giving you what I have to have. The do not wants, I haven't given a lot of thought to. I'm used to having...
Anything off the top of your head?
I don't want noisy neighbors, Rich. I don't want noisy neighbors because I don't spend much time there. When I'm there, I need to sleep.
Well, are you looking to buy a whole block? In other words, you looking to buy 5 houses?
No, certainly.
Okay, so can we control who's going to live next to you?
Well, I'd like to. But
Here's what we can do. If we find your ideal house, if you'd like, we can knock on the door and talk to the neighbors.
Would you do that?
I will do it with you.
That's great.
This way we'll knock on the doors and ask them how the neighborhood is, and we can judge by what their appearance is and who answers the door. And
It's a
maybe how
little
they-
whiny. They have little whiny kids. I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd
We
like
can do that.
That'd be great.
Fantastic. So I got one last category to talk to, and we're done here, and then we're going to go out and see houses.
Great.
You excited?
I'm very excited
Okay.
right now.
So what did it tell you about REOs, about foreclosures? Was it up or down?
Well, from what this is all well and good, and I appreciate the non-bias of the market conditions, but I think we're wasting our time a little bit with REOs from what I've read about them. I don't want to negotiate with the bank.
I agree.
I'd rather just cut to the chase.
The reason I was asking you a question, I noticed in that video from the board that REOs were down by 26%. I took down in my notes. So there's a term that used to be affiliated with REOs that's now affiliated with all real estate.
Okay.
And the term is highest and best.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the term?
Well, I'm more familiar with it because of this presentation. It looks like I've never seen in my life where people actually getting more for a home. So I need to make a little adjustment there. But your education and the time you spent in this office helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Helped me a lot.
So let me explain. There's 2 words here, highest and best. What do you think they're referring to when people say highest?
Well, it's a seller's market, as you say. And I guess they would determine what was highest. And
Well, what does the word highest refer to?
Well,
What?
price.
Price.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're talking about price. What does best mean?
Again, I think it goes back to the seller. The way that you're saying this is they're getting multiple offers, so we need to look at. I'm not into negotiating with these people. When I make an offer, I'm buying a house.
Right.
Okay, I'm buying a house. So I'm going to look at your professionalism and your knowledge of the market, your knowledge of Eagle Creek. So when I make an offer, I'm buying a house.
Absolutely. So going back, what do you think when they say best? What are we talking about? What does best mean?
This is a new education for me, so again, I would have to look towards your professionalism.
Okay. I appreciate that. Best refers to its terms. If highest means price, best means terms. So what are some of the terms that you think are negotiable?
Well, there's actually, I think, a lot. I think there's.
Well, let's name them.
I think there's possession. I think there's.
So date of possession or closing date.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think closing date. I think terms are interest rates.
Interest rate.
Terms are. They're.
How about escrow deposit?
You have to do that here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's a term. Escrow would be a term.
What
Down
else?
payment would be a term.
Well, escrow would be down payment.
Yeah, okay. Whether or not I'm paying cash, I would expect a big discount if I was paying cash.
So
Cash is really big here, isn't it? I mean, you get discounts and such.
Absolutely not. Here's why. Because the market's going to dictate, and with all the buyers out there, 1/3 out of all transactions today are cash. So
Wow.
1 out of every 3.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
are cash. So you're up against a lot of people, so let's go through this. Cash is king.
Right.
You're next with conventional financing.
Okay.
Then you have FHA,
Okay.
VA,
Stop right there.
USDA.
Stop there.
So you're near the top, but if you come in close to a cash offer, you lose. Cash is going to win that. So my strategy is if we can talk about some of the terms that will alter the price, we may be able to steal a house without having the top offer.
Okay, well,
In
give
other
me an
words-
example. Give me
Okay,
an-
let's talk about, I'm a real big listing agent. I know when I sell a house, for argument's sake, for $300,000, and I get two offers that are the same price, and one has a $1,000 escrow, and the other has a $50,000 escrow, which one do you think is going to close?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Which one do you think is
Well,
going to
money
close?
talks. The 50,000 is going to make a big difference.
Who is making a bigger statement that wants to buy that
Guy
house?
that gives $50,000. I mean,
So
we
you-
got to really demand. I mean, I'm sure your agents, if they're successful, are going to demand. Well, not demand, but you know, they're going to feel confident if they put more. If the buyer can put more money down.
What about repairs?
Well, it's going to be meticulous. That didn't even occur to me.
What about an offer that comes in that wants $5,000 in repairs and one that says as is? You're the listing agent, which one would you take?
I'm the listing agent.
If you're the seller or listing agent, two prices, two offers, same price, one has $5,000 in repairs and the other one says, we don't want any repairs.
Well, you know, it kind of depends on the house, I guess. Oh, I'm the. You know, you confuse me a little bit.
I know, well, let me explain, and I apologize. If you want to buy a house today,
Right.
you need to think like a seller.
Okay.
And you'll be successful at buying.
I see.
So if you were selling a house and two
I'm
offers
not
come in for
repairing
300,
anything. I'm not repairing anything.
so no repairs.
No.
Right. So these are the things we have. These are the things that we have to take into consideration
I see.
when writing an offer. So let's rehash this. You've got conventional financing 20% down. You're looking at a $300,000 house. What's 20% of $300,000?
Maybe not enough based on this.
Well, possibly, but I still think we can steal a deal, and that's why you were referred to me. So, what is 20% of 300,000, John?
Well, it's let's see, 20% of 300,000 would be well, 330,000 plus $40,000, I guess.
It's actually 60. You were close though.
I'm not getting. That's too much money.
Well, that's what you're putting down. You got conventional financing. The letter says you're putting 20% down. So, what my thing with you is, we can steal a deal by structuring the deal with half of that as escrow, 30,000, and the other half due within 48 hours after inspection, giving us a total escrow of $60,000. Because here's what all the other agents are doing. They're putting down $1,000 or $2,500 for escrow. So when the seller sees yours $60,000 escrow, are they going to take you serious?
Big difference.
Could we steal this house possibly even for less of an offer than another person?
I see that could work.
Do you see how? Do you understand where this all comes into play?
I do.
So when you find that ideal
It's
house,
a lot of money, though.
it is a lot of money, but you know what? You're buying a beautiful house. We're looking at beautiful houses today. Right?
We're looking at making it happen fast. Too.
Yeah. So let's go over this beginning 10. I need to recap this to make sure you totally understand. So we're going to look at 3 houses, write one up, and my intent is to buy you a house by the end of tomorrow. You okay with that?
You can do that?
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my darndest. So, according to price over here, how much over list are these houses closing? Take a look from the list to the closing. You tell me.
Well, they're 10%. They're actually higher than 10% in some cases, in some 5%. So we're going to do 10%, I guess, maybe more than that, for highest and best, based on what you're saying.
Well, that one that's over there, 10%, may be a little bit aggressive, but on general, I'm seeing about 5 or 6% over asking.
These are a little bit lower than what I'm going to give, Rich, so...
Well, they're not as priced as high as what you're looking at, correct.
But
so that's why we're working percentages here,
Okay.
not price.
All right.
So on a general, on a whole,
My
we're
back
looking,
bothers
it's all right, stretch out. In general, we're looking at about 5 or 6% over. I
Okay.
want you to be prepared, so when you see the house, you're ready to pull the trigger.
It's really foreign to me, but I respect your professionalism. I respect the time you're taking, although I'm not really used to it, and I really But I respect it.
Okay.
And yes, I'm prepared to pay that.
Okay. 2, escrow deposit, the next most important thing. I'm telling you, everybody's writing contracts with $1,000 to $2,500. When we go in and we're looking at a $300,000
You're telling me not
house,
to do that, Rich.
I'm telling you absolutely because then price does become the most important factor.
I will follow your lead. You're a professional.
So we're prepared to write a check for $30,000 and then put a clause in there to give additional $30,000 48 hours after inspection, so long as the inspection is to your liking.
I'm going to defer to you. This isn't comfortable for me.
I understand. I understand this is a matter of trust and bonding here. 3rd thing, repairs. We're going to put in as is.
What if they need repairs? I mean,
Then we're not, if we get, we'll work right out of the house. Or we will alter the offer price to accommodate the repairs. So in other words, if the house is $300,000, there's $5,000 in repairs, we'll adjust price according to the repairs.
clay tile roof would be a repair. If it's got.
If they've got cracked tiles, yeah, absolutely.
What if they have a conventional roof, shingles and such? I can.
Well, we're only going to look at houses with clay tiles.
Perfect.
You said that's a must.
Perfect.
So we're not looking at that.
Okay, that's good.
So when it comes to closing date, I'm going to put down 30 days because anything longer than that,
I don't really want to. The surgeon smokes. I think he's probably on drugs. I really kind of need to get out of there.
yeah. If we can make it happen faster, and I will call your mortgage broker to see if he could possibly make it happen faster than 30 days, then we will.
Do you have a recommended mortgage broker that, can
I do, but I want you to feel comfortable. I don't know what your affiliation is with this mortgage broker. We do have an in-house mortgage broker with Vicky and Clarissa, Synergy Mortgage, that our brokerage.
Why don't we do both?
You know, it doesn't hurt to talk to them after we look at houses. I can have you speak to them.
Perfect.
Since you're already pre-qualified, it's not mandatory right now.
Okay.
So in this way, you can choose who's best for you, who's got the best interest rate. Will that work for you?
That's perfect.
Any questions for me?
No, let's go buy a house.
Let's go buy a house, John. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.